I don't think this blackmailing scheme was very well thought through. A lot of the things that Blake Lively has been doing so far has been extremely dumb.
And everyone knows blondes are nicer anyway.
Blake Lively is in a complete meltdown as Hollywood's A-listers, once her biggest cheerleaders, are now turning their backs. Yes, even her bestie Taylor Swift has ditched her.
Blake Lively is not a good person, that she has proven herself not to be a kind person.
But it doesn't stop there. They're not just staying silent. They're publicly supporting Justin Baldoni.
Blake Lively Justin Baldoni cases likely won't settle before trial.
And let's be real, when this many stars speak up, you know there's a mess lurking beneath the surface.
All hell broke loose. She claims he sexual harassed her, and then by the time they premiered the movie, they weren't even speaking to each other. She made him stay in the basement, and Ryan Reynolds turned on him too. And then she claimed that he unleashed a bad PR campaign against her.
It all started making sense when Taylor Swift allegedly changed sides. And suddenly, the picture-perfect Blake Lively's life began crumbling like a house of cards in a windstorm.
I find it so amazing that a woman with 4 kids at home is out every single night. And she's in the middle of the biggest scandalous lawsuit in Hollywood history. And she's out and about every night, smiling in different outfits.
We disagree. Here's why. But worst case scenario, if we lose, we are allowed legally to go make an amendment, and we should at least be doing that.
For years, she's been the flawless queen of charm and talent, with a career so shiny it practically blinds you, married to Ryan Reynolds, and living a life that influencers drool over while pretending it's effortless. The kind of life where every red carpet moment looks like a carefully scripted fairy tale.
Is Blake Lively holding on before they want to bring them up? I mean, they're running out of time.
But here's the kicker. When your public image is polished to absolute perfection, you better believe there's some seriously messy stuff bubbling right beneath that glossy surface.
Hollywood power couple Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, and actor and director Justin Baldoni. The plot of this lawsuit is actually more interesting, I believe, than the film that they made.
And let's be honest, Hollywood isn't exactly where secrets stay buried for long. Well, surprise, surprise, the cracks are showing, and they're about to turn into a full-blown courtroom meltdown that's shaking up Tinseltown like a cheap soap opera.
Revealed early on, no, there's other people that are going to testify. As far as we know right now, nobody has been subpoenaed. You know, Jenny Slate, Isabel Ferrer, you know, the person who played young Blake Lively. But is there more to the story?
Blake Lively is not a good person, that she has proven herself not to be a kind person, okay? And that's largely due to the fact that she is a modern feminist, and so she has to create struggle where there just isn't any.
If you thought Blake's pristine reputation was untouchable, think again. This drama is huge.
I saw this post in the Team Justin Baldoni subreddit, and this is from Billy Bush's channel here, talking about the other people that Blake Lively said will be coming forward in this lawsuit.
At the center of this swirling chaos is none other than Justin Baldoni. Yes, the man famous for being too good, a walking hallmark of kindness and charm.
You know, it's just become clear to me, like the biggest thing that's coming down, the one thing that Blake has, if this thing gets to trial, is she has said there are 2 other women who filed sexual harassment complaints. And we believe those 2 women would have to be Jenny Slate, the co-star, and the girl who played the younger version of Blake's character, Lily.
Yet somehow, Baldoni's recent legal drama has sent shockwaves through Hollywood, pulling Blake Lively right into its eye.
Accusations come out, there's 10 other accusations, right? Because in most cases, when someone's doing something wrong, there's problematic behavior that pops up in all these different ways. Oh yeah, he was this, he was that.
And trust me, this isn't just a casual name drop in the tabloids. This is courtroom-level chaos, complete with fiery allegations, icy stares, and alliances that feel more like betrayals.
Nothing like that has come out from Justin Baldoni. In fact, he had a good-looking young intern or secretary, whatever she was, and she's just sang his praises. No, he never once hit on me, looked at me weird, did this, was inappropriate.
So how does a man as squeaky clean as Baldoni manage to ignite such scandal? Well, it's not just about him.
Could there be examples where somebody just randomly is a straight-laced person and then one day they become a super creep? Maybe, but we just never see that happen. We look for patterns.
This story is about what he's unleashed, a flood of simmering tensions and unresolved feuds that Blake has kept buried for years.
A lot of it's my real life clothes or my husband's clothes or my girlfriend Gigi's clothes. I was borrowing some.
Wait, that's kind of amazing. So you have something of Gigi's in the movie.
Yeah, like a wedding, like something old, something borrowed, something blues. I'm wearing her stuff all over it.
Oh, really?
Tons of like Bodhi, which is with the suit now that I'm wearing is Bodhi. It was meant for my husband.
Blake Lively loves to do is tell on herself. So in a newly resurfaced interview from 2009 in Glamour magazine, Blake Lively opened up about how she tried to poison the cast of Gossip Girl against Penn Badgley.
Let's take it back to the beginning. Gossip Girl, the show that made Blake Lively a household name and gave us all an unhealthy obsession with Upper East Side drama.
I worked with her husband Ryan several years ago, so I've met Blake a few times through Ryan on that film.
Got it.
And thought she seemed nice, and little did I know.
But as we're now learning, the drama wasn't confined to the script. Leighton Meester, who played Blake's on-screen frenemy Blair Waldorf, might have been even frostier off camera.
She's
got a few of them.
Come on, it was a joke. Lord have mercy.
Rumors of power struggles and competitive tension between the two were Hollywood's worst-kept secret. Was it jealousy, personality clashes, or something even more sinister? Whatever it was, it never truly disappeared. It just went dormant, waiting for the right moment to explode.
Well, they're best and worst friends, I guess. They're two women that come together and they're sort of unlikely friends, and then they are each other's the worst thing that ever happened to each other, and then in some moments a really great thing that happened to each other.
And explode, it did. Fast forward to 2018's A Simple Favor, where Blake starred alongside Anna Kendrick. Fans expected sparks of the good kind: chemistry, wit, that classic Hollywood charm.
He'd been in like one series. He certainly wasn't at Ryan Reynolds level fame, never mind Blake Lively, and she bullied him into giving her the movie where she did her own cut. They released the cut of the movie.
Instead, what they got were sparks of another variety entirely. Rumors of tension between the two stars swept through the industry like wildfire. Was Anna Kendrick's sharp, sarcastic energy too much for Blake's polished perfection? Or was Blake just tired of sharing the spotlight?
Like anyone else who would be going through a situation where you're accused of something that you did not do, and are suffering in a public way, I think it's distressful, to say the least.
The whispers were relentless, and while both actresses kept it professional on the surface, the cracks were hard to ignore.
It makes me feel incredibly fancy, and it also makes me feel very sad that this is not mine to keep, so put in a good word for it.
Now, here's where it gets really juicy. With Baldoni's case dragging Blake into the spotlight, fans are revisiting these old feuds with fresh eyes. And guess what? They're noticing a pattern. Leighton and Anna, both women with alleged history with Blake, have been suspiciously quiet. No public support, no vague Instagram posts, not even a sending love during this difficult time tweet. It's almost as if their silence speaks louder than words.
In real life, it's the other way around, and I constantly have to call Blake and be like, it's okay, you're good at giving interviews, I promise you, people like you, they respect you.
A lot of talking.
Gotta give her a pep talk on like, we're amazing, we're powerful.
Some fans are even speculating that their lack of involvement is a subtle form of karma, a nod to unresolved tensions that Blake hoped the world had forgotten. Could Blake's carefully curated persona have alienated her peers to the point of no return?
I wouldn't say the best necessarily, but like.
And talk to me a little bit about working with Paul. I'm just curious to see, because this is a bit of a different kind of a film for him.
Secondly, let's talk about Penn Badgley and Blake Lively. Once upon a time, they were the it couple of the early 2010s. Young, beautiful, starring in Gossip Girl, and giving us all those off-screen Serena and Dan vibes. They were basically the millennial equivalent of prom king and queen. but you have to minus the cheap crowns and awkward slow dances. But, spoiler alert, fairy tales rarely end with happily ever after when Hollywood is involved.
It was meant for him to wear, but it's so pretty.
By the time Gossip Girl hit its 4th or 5th season, their golden couple status had turned into something a lot more, let's say, frosty. They had broken up, but the show wasn't exactly ready to write their characters off into separate storylines. Nope, these two exes had to keep making doe eyes at each other on screen while trying not to strangle each other off it. Imagine sharing an office with your ex while the whole world watches. It's giving awkward potluck energy. Fast forward to today, and Penn seems to be on a bit of a philosophical journey. He's all about introspection and authenticity these days, dropping cryptic gems in interviews like, "Staying true to yourself is the only way to thrive." Penn, we see you, and we're reading between the lines. Sure, he didn't name drop anyone, but let's just say if veiled jabs were an Olympic sport, he'd be on the podium.
Track record of being difficult to work with, from Armie Hammer, who got fired from.
Then there's Penn's silence on the whole Justin Baldoni drama. While many Hollywood stars are taking sides faster than middle schoolers in a dodgeball game, Penn has chosen the Switzerland route, neutral, silent, and oh so suspicious. But his silence feels less like, "I don't want to get involved," and more like, "I'm just going to sit back and enjoy the fireworks." It's giving silent disapproval vibes, and honestly, we're here for it. And now we come to Scarlett Johansson, the woman who can deliver a deadpan line so cutting it feels like a paper cut.
Scarlett Johansson, of course, was with Ryan Reynolds. Relationship didn't end well. Some say that Ryan Reynolds cheated on Scarlett Johansson with Blake Lively when their relationship began. I don't know.
But here's the kicker. Scarlett and Blake already have a history, and it's not exactly filled with warm, fuzzy holiday cards. Remember that tiny little detail about Scarlett being married to Ryan Reynolds before Blake swooped in? Yeah, that's not the kind of thing you just let slide.
But she says she hasn't met Justin Baldoni, but admits Blake Lively feud makes it weird timing because he produced her new movie.
Scarlett's involvement didn't stop at a simple statement either.
Such weird timing. So again, we're not getting anything public from Scarlett Johansson, although we have seen...
She took things a step further with an SNL sketch that had everyone whispering, "Wait, was that shade?" The sketch, a biting satire of Hollywood courtroom drama, had enough sly winks and nods to make even the most cynical viewer go,
She says that the new movie, things went well. Let's see, there's a quote in here that she got this movie Eleanor the Great coming out, and she said even though she's never met Baldoni, their company has been really great. They were super supportive throughout the process.
And then there's the public reaction, which has been split right down the middle. Some people are calling Scarlett a queen for reclaiming the narrative and not letting Blake have the last word. Others think she's just stirring the pot for no good reason, adding more chaos to an already messy situation. Either way, Scarlett's boldness is impossible to ignore, and Blake's probably wishing she could go full Serena van der Woodsen and just flee to Europe right about now.
Have a lot of texts that Blake Lively don't want out there. Obviously, she did ask her to delete text messages.
And then there's Cara Delevingne, how the mighty friendships crumble. Word on the street is that Cara has not only unfollowed Blake, but also given her the metaphorical side-eye across social media.
According to Katie from Without a Crystal Ball, Cara Delevingne has unfollowed Blake Lively. She's also friends with Taylor Swift.
Because Cara couldn't handle Blake's growing stack of fabrications. Yes, apparently, Blake's penchant for storytelling doesn't stop at charming anecdotes about her kids. It's now spilled into the realm of courtroom drama and public narratives. And Cara? She's not having it.
And Cara Delevingne is a girl, she doesn't take any BS. She's not the kind of person that you bully around.
It's like a plot straight out of a reality show. The quirky, unpredictable friend who decides she's had enough of Blake's truth-bending and opts for a dramatic exit. Rumor has it, Cara's even been subtly throwing shade, cryptic captions about honesty, a well-timed like on one of Baldoni's posts.
I have to say, I've met Cara Delevingne a few times and I really like her. She's like, you know, she's honest, she's open, she's like, what you see is what you get with her.
And if that weren't enough, Cara's decision to distance herself has made her the unexpected voice of reason in this chaotic saga.
Anyways, there is another big celebrity who has allegedly unfollowed Blake Lively.
If you think the list of Hollywood tension ends here, you're seriously underestimating the drama, because the so-called perfect couple, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, have a much larger roster of A-listers who apparently didn't get the memo about being friends. Spoiler alert, it's not pretty. Let's kick things off with none other than Leonardo DiCaprio. Yeah, Leo. The eternal heartthrob who's been around since Titanic set sail. Blake and Leo had a brief fling back in the day, the kind that had gossip mags drooling and fans shipping hard.
Intimate, private texts describing Travis Kelce and ex-lovers.
But, plot twist, it wasn't all roses and Oscar buzz. Behind the scenes, word on the street is things got icy fast after their split. Awkward doesn't even begin to cover it. Now, here's the kicker. Leo isn't throwing around public shade or starting Twitter wars. No. He's playing it low-key, the silent type who's reportedly throwing subtle support behind Justin Baldoni. Because when you're Leo, you don't need to scream to be heard. You just whisper, and the whole industry listens.
With NFL star Travis Kelce, from the earlier sparks to their bedroom secrets. I am sure they did talk about that if they're really close friends.
And then there's Henry Golding, the guy who looks like he walked out of a dream and onto every red carpet. Rumor has it that Henry and Blake don't exactly exchange warm hugs backstage. Reports of awkward run-ins at industry events have fans wondering if there's more beneath those polite nods.
And sometimes I had directors or producers or writers who would welcome that and invite that once they saw that I was able to offer that. And sometimes I would have people who really resented that because they were like, we just hired you to be an actor. Yet when I went in the meetings, I would just seem like I'm just there to be the actor.
Is it just a clash of personalities or a simmering grudge that hasn't made it to the headlines yet? Either way, Henry's vibe says, yeah, I see what's happening, and I'm not impressed. He's quietly part of the group, shaping opinions behind the scenes, while Blake's courtroom drama steals the spotlight.
Article recently saying that Leighton and I were frenemies. And it's frenemies. Is that the new term? Frenemies? Yeah, we're friends, but we're also enemies. And it's they see our characters on the show, and they want that to be true in a sense. I think they want everybody's characters in real life to emulate that. And it's really strange because they always want to pit women against each other. You don't hear about like Penn and Chase hating each other and being jealous and competitive.
So, yeah, Blake might be losing it in court. But the real story is this secret web of alliances, icy glances, and power plays among some of the biggest names in entertainment and royalty. And that, my friend, is what makes this scandal not just huge, but absolutely unmissable.
Things about, oh, these people have been my family for 20 years, just telling everyone, like, I have a lot of people that love me, okay? I just don't need Taylor Swift.
If you thought Blake and Taylor's friendship was the golden standard of Hollywood camaraderie, think again, because this perfect friendship has more holes than a Swiss cheese factory. Let's break down the cold, hard numbers that reveal just how shaky their so-called bond really was. First off, remember those 72 Instagram posts Blake tagged Taylor in during their golden era? Yeah, that number nosedived to exactly 0 in the last 18 months. Not a single post, comment, or even a sly emoji. 0! If that's not a flashing neon sign that something's seriously off, I don't know what is.
Other people that love me, this is a big group of people, and they love me for 20 years.
And here's the kicker. Taylor actually unfollowed Blake on Twitter, something she rarely does unless there's serious drama. So, all those public smiles and heart emojis? Apparently just a carefully staged PR stunt to keep the narrative sweet and simple.
I also think they probably have text messages that Blake Lively don't want to get out there. But as we know, she's very good at cherry-picking text messages she wants to publish. I don't think she published any text messages from herself.
And the more people have overturned rocks and stones to find evidence, the more they've seen the patterns are that Justin Baldoni actually is a pretty good guy.
But wait, it gets juicier. Blake's supposed kindness toward Taylor? Let's just say it's about as genuine as a reality show friendship. The lawyer representing Justin Baldoni, yes, the very same Baldoni who's at the center of this whole mess, actually submitted an affidavit recently that threw Blake's mean streak into the spotlight.
Blake Lively blackmailed Taylor Swift and threatened to expose all their text messages and their correspondence for the last.
According to this legal bombshell, Blake's been verbally aggressive and downright nasty in private exchanges with Taylor.
She had also asked Taylor Swift to delete their private text messages going back to September, October of last year, just when she probably allegedly started to plan this lawsuit against Justin Baldoni.
And it wasn't just a one-off. There are documented instances where Blake allegedly tried to intimidate Taylor, maybe even dangle some not-so-friendly threats if Taylor didn't toe the line. So, that image of Blake as the kind-hearted, glowing Hollywood darling? Let's just say it's cracking fast.
Taylor Swift's intimate private texts describing Travis Kelce and ex-lovers, truth about messages Blake Lively threatened to leak.
The perfect friendship was less about true connection and more about power plays, manipulation, and keeping up appearances. And the fact that Baldoni's legal team felt compelled to drag this mess into court? Priceless. Meanwhile, Taylor has been dropping cryptic lyrics that have Swifties running wild. Each line a possible jab at Blake's hypocrisy and nasty behavior.
Have a lot of texts that Blake Lively don't want out there. Obviously, she did ask her to delete text messages, so of course she does have texts that Blake Lively don't want to have out there. So why would Blake threaten to expose these texts while she knows that Taylor Swift has text messages?
And you better believe the Swiftie army has weaponized those lyrics into a full-scale digital assault, painting Blake as the villain in this whole saga. They've got memes, tweets, and fan theories coming out of their ears, turning this into the social media event of the year.
So they're speculating here first, saying that did the pop superstar confide in Lively about her private yet high-profile relationship with NFL star Travis Kelce, from the earlier sparks to their bedroom secrets.
So yeah, Blake's mean girl reputation isn't just Hollywood gossip anymore. It's documented, lawyer certified, and now totally unavoidable.
I am sure they did talk about that if they're really close friends.
Meanwhile, Taylor's playing the silent but savage game like a pro, letting her lyrics do the talking while her fans wield those words like swords.
She blackmailed her friend and pressured her to destroy evidence. And this is the person that so many media outlets have been supporting, including, of course, the New York Times.
In short, the picture-perfect Blake-Taylor friendship? More like a carefully crafted mirage that's finally evaporating under the scorching heat of legal affidavits and social media warfare. And honestly, it's about time, because sometimes the most glamorous friendships are just the most dramatic.
And I'm sure that's also one of the reasons that Taylor Swift was panicking here, and also one of the reasons why Travis Kelce was unfollowing.
And with all this, Blake is now in courtroom, facing the consequences of her evil acts. Her courtroom meltdown wasn't just some garden-variety celebrity sob fest. No, this was a full-blown, Oscar-worthy emotional collapse that had everyone from the judge to the jury clutching their popcorn. So, what exactly went down in that courtroom? Blake's carefully curated evidence, which she probably thought would bulldoze the case in her favor, disintegrated faster than a cheap prop in a bad action movie. Every claim she made was met with eyebrow-raising skepticism. The judge didn't just raise an eyebrow, he practically did a double take and called out the flimsy nature of her proof. It was like watching a magician's trick backfire spectacularly, except the audience here was made up of lawyers, journalists, and a very entertained public.
And the more people have overturned rocks and stones to find evidence, the more they've seen the patterns are that Justin Baldoni actually is a pretty good guy. That's just where they're at, including support from Scarlett Johansson.
But the real kicker? The star witnesses. Yes, Scarlett Johansson and Penn Badgley, who usually keep their drama on screen, showed up in court in spirit, tipping the scales against Blake more than anyone anticipated. Scarlett's icy demeanor, well known in Hollywood circles, was basically a mic drop moment. Meanwhile, Penn's subtle digs and cryptic comments outside court made it painfully clear where his loyalties lie. Their quiet yet powerful presence was like the ultimate reality check Blake didn't want to face.
Oops, we supported Blake Lively, and now we know what she did to Taylor Swift.
And if you think this was just another behind-closed-doors legal tussle, think again. The public spectacle was something else entirely. Social media exploded like a fireworks show gone rogue, turning Blake's breakdown into the latest viral sensation. Memes popped up faster than you could say courtroom drama, with everything from photoshopped images of Blake crying to sardonic captions about her fall from grace. It was as if the entire internet collectively decided to tune in for the real-life soap opera playing out on a judicial stage.
It's just deranged. It's nonsensical. Like, fire the whole PR team. It's dumb.
Speaking of the internet, the social media battleground quickly split into two fierce camps, #Team Baldoni and #Team Blake. Fans, trolls, and everyone in between launched full-scale wars across Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. Conspiracy theories ran wild, ranging from secret alliances among A-listers to wild claims about hidden agendas and Hollywood power plays. People analyzed every cryptic post and vague comment from celebrities as if decoding secret messages from another dimension. The fandom energy was so intense, it could have powered a small city. But beyond the memes and online battles, this scandal has exposed a deeper divide within Hollywood itself. It's like a modern-day Cold War, with the industry split between those rallying behind Justin Baldoni and those still clinging to Blake's fading star power. The whispers in Hollywood hallways hint at shifting alliances and recalibrated power dynamics, as this mess forces people to pick sides or risk being caught in the crossfire.
The answers to those questions, the Daily Mail understands, is yes. That intimate revelations about Swift's private life.
So, what's next for Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni? Well, grab your popcorn, because this is where things get juicier than a summer blockbuster. Blake, once Hollywood's golden girl, the perfect wife, the queen of flawless Instagram family shots, is now staring at what might be the biggest career speed bump of her life. Is she going to bounce back with a killer indie film, or quietly fade into that mysterious celebrity purgatory where forgotten stars go to hang out with canceled Twitter accounts? Honestly, the odds are looking a bit grim for our once untouchable sweetheart.
Sort of. I mean, it's a crazy week. We had a crazy week where Brian Friedman releases this bombshell information that he's got a source.
Meanwhile, Justin Baldoni is not just standing tall, he's practically towering now. This whole scandal has somehow turned him into Hollywood's new golden boy. Who would have thought? The guy who was flying under the radar is now untouchable, with A-listers lining up to back him publicly like he's the messiah of moral clarity. Move over, Blake. Baldoni's taking center stage, and he's got the spotlight on him like never before. Talk about a plot twist nobody asked for, but everyone can't stop watching.
Just as our fellow Time 100 honoree, the incredible Giselle Pellicot, put it to every woman who understood, it's not for us to have shame, it's for them.
And here's the kicker. This scandal might just be the opening act for a whole new wave of celebrity exposés. If Hollywood's brightest stars are duking it out this hard in public courtrooms, imagine what's simmering behind the velvet ropes. We might be on the brink of a scandal renaissance, where nothing is sacred and no A-lister's reputation is safe. Prepare yourself. There's probably a few more perfect couples about to come crashing down in spectacular fashion.
Now here Friedman is quoted in TMZ. Let's look at what he said. Mr. Reynolds' exploitation of his enormous power in Hollywood continues, this time arrogantly asking to be dismissed from the case despite his publicly documented involvement, extending far beyond just being a supportive spouse.
So, is this the end of Blake Lively's reign as one of Hollywood's sweethearts? Well, sweethearts don't usually have courtroom meltdowns broadcast like live reality TV. If Blake wants to reclaim her throne, she's going to need more than just good PR and perfectly curated Instagram posts. Because right now, it looks like her golden halo is a bit tarnished, and Hollywood's gossip mills are already grinding away at the fallout. Blake's relationships with the industry's elite have been the real story behind the scenes. The shocking and frankly eyebrow-raising public support for Justin Baldoni isn't just about one scandal. It reveals a whole lot about how power, loyalty, and image work in Tinseltown. In a world where friends become foes and allegiances shift overnight, Blake's courtroom drama is a masterclass in how quickly the Hollywood game can change. So, what's next for Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds? Hit like and subscribe to the channel to know more about scars in Blake's perfect image.